On the distant planet of Vrelin, the royal family ruled with great power and pride. The Vrelin people were strong and proud, and their leaders believed in strength above all else. The royal family had one rule: only the strongest could lead. Weakness was a shame, and no one showed mercy to those who were weak. Princess Lyra was born into this family. From the moment she opened her eyes, she was different. Lyra was born with a disability that made it hard for her to walk or move, like other children. Her legs were weak, and she often used a small machine to help her move. In Vrelin culture, this was seen as a terrible weakness. Her parents, King Draven and Queen Maris, did not hide their disappointment. To them, Lyra was a problem. They wanted a strong heir who could rule the planet with power and courage, but Lyra was fragile and slow. The royal court whispered behind closed doors. The advisors said she would never be fit to lead. As Lyra grew older, her family's coldness grew worse. Her brothers, strong and fierce, trained in battle and leadership. They mocked Lyra, calling her the broken princess. At court parties, no one looked at her with respect. She was left alone, often, watching from a distance as her family celebrated their strength. One cold morning, the king called for his council. The leaders gathered in the grand hall, their faces serious. "The princess is a danger to our family," the king said. "She weakens us. We must send her away." The queen nodded, her face hard. "She is a burden. The people will not accept her. We must show no weakness." Lyra was called before the court. She walked slowly with her machine, her heart heavy. The king's voice was cold. "You are no longer welcome in the palace. You will be taken to the wastelands outside the city. There, you will live alone." Tears filled Lyra's eyes, but she stood still. She was not afraid to die, but the pain of being cast away by her own family cut deep. The guards took her to the edge of the city, to a place where no one lived. The wasteland was dry and harsh, filled with strange rocks and dangerous animals. Days passed. Lyra was alone. She used her small machine to move slowly, searching for food and water. The sun was hot, and the nights were cold. She thought of her family, of the palace that felt like a prison. She missed her mother's voice, even if it was cold. One night, as the stars shone bright, Lyra heard a strange sound in the distance, a low hum that grew louder. She looked up and saw a small ship landing nearby. It was not from Vrelin. The ship was smooth and shiny, unlike anything she had seen. The door opened, and strange beings stepped out. They were humans, tall, with skin of many colors, and eyes full of kindness. The humans wore simple clothes and carried tools. They looked surprised to see Lyra. The human captain, a woman named Elena, stepped forward. She spoke in a soft voice. "Are you hurt? Do you need help?" Lyra nodded slowly. She did not understand their language well, but their tone was gentle. Elena motioned to her crew to bring food and water. For the first time in a long time, Lyra felt safe. The humans treated her like a person, not a weakness. They asked her questions and listened carefully. They did not laugh or turn away. Elena looked at Lyra's legs and smiled kindly. "We have machines that can help you move better. You don't have to be alone." Lyra's eyes filled with hope. Maybe there was a chance for her after all. The humans took Lyra aboard their ship. Inside, the ship was warm and clean. Machines hummed softly, and light filled the rooms. Lyra saw many strange things: screens that showed stars, devices that could heal wounds. The humans cared for her wounds and helped her rest. Lyra felt her heart grow lighter. For the first time, she dreamed not of being cast away, but of a new life. Far away, in the royal palace, King Draven and Queen Maris watched the stars. They believed Lyra was gone forever, a forgotten mistake. But in the vastness of space, a new story was beginning. One where a disabled alien princess was not weak but strong, with the help of a human friend. After rescuing Princess Lyra from the harsh wasteland of Vrelon, the human starship Endeavor sailed through the quiet darkness of space. Captain Elena stood on the bridge, watching the stars flicker past. Her crew moved calmly, but everyone felt a quiet excitement about their new guest. The princess was unlike anyone they had ever met. Lyra sat in a soft chair near the ship's windows. She stared out at the stars, trying to understand the strange new world she had entered. Her heart was full of questions and hope. The humans had saved her life, but she did not know what would come next. One of the crew, a kind engineer named Marcus, came over with a small device. "This is a mobility aid," he said gently. "It will help you move easier." He showed her how it worked. It was different from the machine she had used on Vrelon, but felt lighter and smoother. Lyra smiled for the first time in many months. She tried the device, and for the first time, moving was easier and less painful. The humans watched her with respect, not pity. Captain Elena approached and sat beside Lyra. "Your world is very different from ours," she said softly. "But we believe everyone deserves respect and kindness." Lyra looked at Elena's face and saw truth there. She felt a strange feeling, trust. She wanted to learn more about these humans and their world. Over the next days, Lyra talked slowly with the crew. They used a translator device to help with the language. She told them about Vrelon, the proud planet ruled by her family, the harsh ways of her people, and the pain of being cast away. The humans listened carefully, never interrupting. In return, the humans shared stories of their home planet, Earth. They spoke of places filled with green trees, wide oceans, and people of many kinds living together. They told her about their values, kindness, courage, and helping each other. Lyra was surprised. On Vrelon, strength meant fighting and ruling with power, but these humans believed strength came from caring and working together. It was a new idea, and she found it beautiful. One night, while the ship floated quietly near a bright star, Lyra looked out at the universe. She thought of her family, of the cold palace and her lonely childhood. But now she felt something new, a chance to be more than what her family had said. Suddenly, alarms beeped sharply. The crew rushed to the control panels. Captain Elena's face became serious. "Sensors show a ship approaching," she said. "It's from Vrelon." Lyra's heart pounded. Could it be her family coming to take her back? Or was it something worse? The ship's radar showed a large armed vessel from the Vrelon Royal Fleet. The humans quickly prepared defenses, but did not want to fight unless necessary. A message came through the speakers in the harsh language of Vrelon. The royal family demanded Lyra be returned immediately. They called her a disgrace and a danger to their people. Lyra felt a mix of fear and anger. After all she had been through, they still wanted to control her. But now, she was not alone. The humans stood with her. Captain Elena replied firmly, "Lyra is under our protection. We will not send her back until she is ready. She is not a danger, but a person with value." The Vrelon ship did not respond, but circled near the Endeavor, watching. The situation was tense. Lyra thought deeply. She did not want to return to the cold palace, but she worried about her people. What if her family's actions hurt others? Could she help them change? That night, she sat with Captain Elena. "I want to learn more," Lyra said. "If I am to help my people, I need to be strong, not just in body, but in mind and heart." Elena smiled warmly. "We will help you. Together we can find a way." In the days that followed, Lyra trained with the human crew. She learned to use new technology to move with confidence and to understand human ways of thinking. She studied leadership, diplomacy, and courage. The humans admired her spirit and intelligence. She was no longer just a disabled princess. She was a student, a friend, and a symbol of hope. Meanwhile, the Vreeland ship remained nearby, a constant reminder of the past and the challenges ahead. Lyra often looked out at the stars and dreamed of a future where she could return to her home, not as a castaway, but as a leader who would change her world for the better. The human captain and crew stood by her side, ready to face whatever came next. The days passed slowly aboard the human ship Endeavor, but for Princess Lyra, each day was full of new experiences and challenges. The ship was a world unlike anything she had ever known. Lights flickered softly, machines hummed quietly, and the crew moved with a calm confidence that made her feel safe. Lyra's body still felt weak, but the humans helped her in ways she had never imagined. Marcus, the engineer, had crafted a special suit that supported her legs and gave her extra strength. The suit was light but strong, and it made moving easier. Lyra practiced walking every day, slowly at first, then with more confidence. The princess was amazed at the technology humans used. They had machines that could heal wounds quickly, tools that could create food from small capsules, and devices that showed images from faraway places. It was a world of possibilities. But it was not just the machines that helped Lyra heal. It was the kindness of the people around her. Captain Elena often sat with her, sharing stories and encouraging her. "You are stronger than you think," she told Lyra one evening. "Your body may have limits, but your mind and heart can grow without end." Lyra listened carefully. On Vreeland, she had been taught that weakness meant failure. But here, she learned that weakness was not the end. It was a challenge to be faced with courage. As Lyra grew stronger, she also learned about human culture. She spent hours talking with the crew about their ideas of fairness, friendship, and hope. They believed in helping others, even those very different from themselves. Lyra was inspired. One day, Elena brought her to the ship's library. The walls were filled with books and images from many worlds. Lyra's eyes shone as she explored stories about heroes who overcame great odds, leaders who changed history, and people who fought for what was right. She realized that she wanted to be like those heroes, not because of her birth, but because of her spirit. But healing was not easy. Some days, Lyra felt pain and frustration. Her legs ached, and she wanted to give up. She missed her home, even if it had hurt her. She felt lonely and scared of what the future held. On those days, Elena was there. She reminded Lyra that strength was not only in standing tall, but in rising again after falling. Lyra also met other humans with disabilities. They shared their stories and showed her how they lived full lives despite challenges. It made Lyra feel less alone and gave her hope that she could build a new future. Meanwhile, the Endeavor continued its journey near Vreeland's system. The Vreeland royal ship still watched them from afar, but the humans did not fear. They knew they had a duty to protect Lyra and help her find her path. One evening, Lyra stood on the observation deck watching the blue-green planet below. It was her home, the place that had cast her away. She thought of her family and the pain they caused. But she also thought of the people who suffered under their rule. "I want to help them," Lyra whispered to herself. "I want to show them there is a better way." Captain Elena joined her quietly. "You will," she said, "and we will help you every step of the way." Together they looked toward the stars, ready for the challenges ahead. The royal palace of Vreeland buzzed with tension. Without Princess Lyra, the family's unity had weakened. King Draven's rule was no longer certain, and whispers of rebellion grew louder every day. The people, once loyal, were beginning to question their leaders. The royal advisors met in secret chambers, speaking in low voices about the troubles ahead. "My king," one advisor said. The people grow restless. Without the princess, our image of strength is broken. The rebels are gaining power. King Draven's face darkened. She was weak. She would have only made us weaker. We cannot bring her back. But Queen Maris's eyes showed doubt. She had seen the change in their enemy's confidence. The kingdom was fragile, and the family's pride could be its downfall. Far from the palace, aboard the human ship Endeavor, Lyra listened carefully as Captain Elena spoke. "Your family faces great danger," Elena said. "But you have a chance to help. You understand both worlds." Lyra's heart ached. She did not want to return to the cold palace, but she felt a deep responsibility for her people. "If I do not go back," Lyra said, "who will stop the kingdom from falling apart?" Elena nodded. "We will support you, but you must be strong, not just for yourself, but for your people." Lyra spent hours preparing. She trained with the crew, learning about leadership, strategy, and communication. She studied her planet's history and culture, searching for ways to bring hope to her people. The humans shared their ideas about justice and equality. They taught her that true strength came from lifting others, not crushing them. One day, the Endeavor approached Vreeland's orbit. The royal fleet was waiting, but this time, they did not attack. Instead, they sent a message offering a meeting. Lyra knew this was a chance to prove herself. She agreed to the meeting, with Elena and a small, human team by her side. The meeting took place on a neutral space station. The royal family appeared cold and distant, their faces set in anger and suspicion. King Draven spoke first. "You abandoned your duty. You are a disgrace to our family." Lyra stood tall, her new strength clear in her voice. "I was cast away because of my disability. But I have learned that true strength is not in the body alone. It is in courage, kindness, and wisdom." The queen looked away, unable to meet Lyra's gaze. The other royal members whispered among themselves. Lyra continued. "Our kingdom faces great danger. The people suffer under fear and anger. I want to help them find a better way." The room fell silent. One of the advisors stepped forward. "If you can prove your worth, perhaps the people will follow you, but you must act quickly." Lyra nodded. She knew the road ahead would be hard, but she was no longer the broken princess of the wasteland. She was a leader ready to fight for her people's future. Returning to the Endeavor, Lyra and her team began planning. They would need allies among the people, not just the royal court. They talked with rebel leaders, farmers, and workers who dreamed of change. Lyra's disability no longer defined her. It became a symbol of hope, proof that even those cast away could rise and lead. As the planet below moved closer, Lyra looked at the stars with determination. The battle for Vreeland's future was only beginning. The time had come. Princess Lyra stood at the entrance of the royal palace once again. But this time, she was not the weak girl her family had thrown away. She was stronger, wiser, and ready to change her world. The halls of the palace were as cold and grand as she remembered. Guards watched her closely, whispering among themselves. Some doubted her, some were curious. But none could ignore the quiet confidence in her step, supported by the human-made suit that helped her walk. King Draven sat on his throne, eyes hard and unwelcoming. "You return, but you are still a disgrace," he said sharply. "Why should we accept you?" Lyra lifted her head. "Because the people need hope. Because strength is more than power. It is courage, kindness, and the will to change." Her voice echoed through the great hall. The nobles shifted uneasily. Her brothers looked away, surprised by her boldness. Lyra had allies now, humans and Vreeland citizens who wanted a better future. Secret meetings with rebels and workers had shown her the pain of her people. They longed for change. She began to speak openly to the people. Using the palace's communication systems, she sent messages of hope and unity. She told stories of strength found in weakness and the power of kindness. Slowly, people listened. Farmers, workers, and even some soldiers began to see her as a true leader. Her disability no longer made her weak, it made her real. The royal family fought back. They spread lies, trying to turn the people against her. But Lyra's honesty and courage shone brighter. The humans helped her too, sharing ideas of peace and fairness. One day, a large crowd gathered in the city square. Lyra stood before them, speaking clearly and calmly. Our kingdom can be strong, not through fear, but through hope. Together, we can build a future where everyone is valued. The crowd cheered. For the first time, Lyra felt the power of unity. But the battle was not over. Some of her family still wanted to control the kingdom by force. A group of loyal soldiers planned to attack her supporters. Lyra and her human friends prepared. They worked with local leaders to protect the people. When the soldiers arrived, they were met with peaceful resistance and calm courage. The soldiers hesitated. Seeing the strength of the people, many laid down their weapons. The royal family's power was breaking. King Draven and Queen Maris were forced to step down. The people chose a new way, a future led by compassion, respect, and courage. Lyra stood with her human allies, proud and hopeful. She had returned not as a broken princess, but as a true leader. Her journey had shown the universe one thing clearly. Being different was not a weakness, but a new kind of strength. The sun rose over the planet Vrelan, shining brightly on a new era. The days of fear and cruelty were fading, replaced by hope and change. Princess Lyra stood on the balcony of the palace, now her home once more, but different, filled with light and warmth. The people below cheered as she spoke. Her disability was no longer a secret or a shame. It was a symbol of strength and courage. She moved with the help of her human-made suit, but her spirit shone brighter than ever. Lyra's first acts as leader were simple but powerful. She opened the palace gates to all citizens, inviting everyone to share ideas and hopes for their world. The old laws that punished the weak were changed. New laws were made to protect the rights of all, no matter their strength or ability. The humans who had saved and helped Lyra became honored guests. They shared their knowledge and technology, helping Vrelan grow in ways never imagined. Together, they built schools, hospitals, and places for people to gather and learn. Lyra worked closely with her human friends to create new programs for people with disabilities. She wanted no one to feel cast away like she once did. Her story inspired many to believe in themselves and each other. But change was not easy. Some who had lost power tried to stop progress. They spread fear and doubt. Yet, the people stood firm. They had seen the light of a new dawn and refused to return to darkness. Lyra often met with leaders from other planets, sharing her story and the lessons learned. She spoke of strength found in kindness, of power in unity. Her message spread, far beyond Vrelan, touching hearts across the galaxy. One evening, as the twin moons rose, Lyra stood with Captain Elena on the palace balcony. "You saved me," Lyra said softly, "but you also helped save my people." Elena smiled. "We only showed what humanity can do, help others, no matter where they come from." Lyra looked out at the stars. Her journey had been long and hard, but it had brought her here. She was no longer a discarded princess. She was a leader, a symbol of hope, and a bridge between worlds. The galaxy was vast and full of challenges, but with courage and kindness, Lyra believed anything was possible. The night sky sparkled above. Lyra whispered, "This is just the beginning.